Hello and a very warm welcome to the trailer episode of the new podcast, Cultural Communication Confidence. I'm so glad that you've joined me here today, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect in this show, a little bit about me and why I'm launching this podcast, and what's coming up next in the following episodes. So, in this trailer episode, I wanted to kind of really share with you who this is for. So if you are an ambitious global leader and you are somebody who's regularly communicating in English, but just don't feel that confidence to do that in your meetings and presentations, then this is the show for you. Maybe you're working in large global teams communicating virtually, and you have challenges around the way you communicate and connect with people around the world. Perhaps you have English-speaking customers, and you know it really makes a difference if you can build conversations where you're communicating clearly, professionally, and concisely everything you've got to share. It might be that you're actually relocating. So relocating to the UK, where I'm based, or maybe you're relocating to another English-speaking country, and you know that although you already operate in English every day, you really need to take it up a level as you get ready to work with English-speaking teams on a more regular basis. It might be that you've also had that experience, and do tell me if you recognize this as well, where you've had some miscommunications or cultural misunderstandings when you've been working with people in different places, because you've really noticed that actually what we say isn't necessarily interpreted in the same way around the world. In fact, how we say it is incredibly important, and that is a key theme that will definitely come up in this podcast. My name is Victoria Reynoldson, and I am a communication and culture coach from the last 7 years. And I work with people all over the world. And I'm really passionate about this topic. The reason why? I really believe in an equal share of voice for all in multilingual and multicultural teams. What does that mean? It means it doesn't really matter where your English communication level is today. I want you to be able to communicate confidently, to speak up spontaneously, to share your expertise, and for people to really see the wonderful ideas that you've got to bring to your team. I wonder whether you're somebody today who sometimes hesitates to really get across what it is you have to contribute. And I think that might be holding you back on your path along your journey towards your career ambitions. So I want to free up those performance and career ambitions so that you can really deliver the way that you want to, 100% authentically as yourself, without worrying about perfectionism or worrying about how people are perceiving you. In this show, we'll be covering a number of different themes, and we'll be really covering a number of topics to do with communication, cultural intelligence, and confidence mindset. If we start with communication, I'll be talking about your own communication. So I'll be sharing very practical and actionable ideas that you can take away from every single episode and put into practice and try out. So those might be communication skills. It could be strategies to try out in your meetings or presentations. It might be an idea or a tip that you can try out as well. But the idea for me is that these episodes are really only going to be 10 to 15 minutes, and you will have that insight, something really kind of that you can take away and put into action. And I would love to hear about when you've had a chance to try these out. So please do let me know when you try these in the future. I also mentioned cultural intelligence. And for some people, that might be an unfamiliar phrase. So let me explain that in a bit more detail. What I mean is that although we live in a very globalized world, we do have cultural dynamics that influence what we say and how we say it. We may not be very aware of that today. We may not realize how we're communicating with other people. But maybe you've had that situation where you've experienced frustrations, or perhaps somebody hasn't acted in a way that you felt was professional. Well, if that's the case, then I'm sure that cultural dynamics were at play. So we will be talking about what is cultural intelligence, how do we build it up, and how does it make the difference when it comes to your performance, results, and what happens in your business. And then finally, confidence mindset. We will be definitely talking about this topic because I know from my clients that this is an area that people find challenging. You may, in theory, be able to communicate well. People may tell you and give you feedback that you're doing absolutely fine. But if we don't have the confidence mindset, this can really undermine what we're trying to achieve. It can impact our performance in certain situations with certain groups of people, like senior stakeholders or external customers. And we really need to understand, how can we unlock the confidence mindset so that we can communicate as we want to, when we want to. So as you can see, we'll be covering really quite a number of different themes. And what it's really about at the end of the day is helping you as individuals and as leaders of teams to think about how you can really make the difference with your communication and cultural intelligence for impact, influence, and your performance. We'll also be talking about that connection to your career. So what it is about communicating well and being able to be culturally intelligent that really makes the difference to how you're coming across, your personal reputation, and how that can really help with your career progression as you move forward from stage to stage. So I hope that sounds really exciting. I know that I'm really excited to get this podcast underway. It's something I've been thinking about and planning for a little while now. And if you are that global ambitious leader who really understands that communication confidence and cultural intelligence will make a big difference to how you're showing up, then this is definitely the place for you. I really hope that you've enjoyed listening to this trailer episode today. I think I just want to finish off by telling you a little bit more about me and my background, because this also gives you a bit of context about why I'm doing this. So I have been working as a communication and culture coach for the last 7 years, as I mentioned, and I literally work with people all over the world. In fact, I think the last time I looked, I've worked with over 40 nationalities in our company, and that is hugely exciting to me. But the reason I set up this company is because before I did this career, I worked in my previous career in marketing in large international companies. And I was part of large global project teams. I was based in the UK and working with team members in lots of different countries around the world. And I observed this. I experienced and noticed this communication and cultural gap, where people obviously had great ideas and were really talented in their area of expertise, but they weren't always showing up and contributing in the same ways as some of the people who had English as their native first language. In fact, sometimes they were holding back, or they wanted to contribute after the meeting. They didn't want to necessarily contribute in front of everybody else. And I felt that this was a real waste and a real shame, that people who had brilliant ideas, who had great expertise and skills to offer and share with the team, weren't able to really bring that forward in the way that they wanted to. And that's where I got really passionate about this idea, about creating an equal share of voice for all in multilingual and multicultural teams. That's why I changed into this area, and that's why I retrained to become a communication and culture coach. And that's why I've launched this business and currently running this business today and working with people and teams all over the world. So hopefully that's giving you a bit of an insight into my world as well. But thank you again for listening to today, the trailer episode for the podcast, Cultural Communication Confidence. I am really looking forward to sharing more future episodes, and you can really follow and hear what's going on. But in the meantime, if you like what you're listening to, then please make sure that you share it with your friends, share with colleagues. I would be delighted for more people to come and listen in to this particular podcast. And don't forget to share, like, and review. So thank you so much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you next time on Cultural Communication Confidence.